My guest for today is the social connector, with the goal to live the best version of herself and inspiring others to do the same. With a combination of spirituality, empowerment, and business knowledge, she touches and inspires many lives. Now she's here to inspire you. Welcome, Sunita.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love to be here.
Oh, thank you that you're here. The social connector. What inspired you to start the social connector, and what is it?
Yeah, what is it? That's a good question. Well, actually, it's not the first company I have. The first company is such a gift. I did that when I was a corporate slave in Rome, and I started designing jewelry just for fun. And then when I came back to the Netherlands, I was actually in between international jobs, and I got approached by a Dutch law firm. They were specialized in mutual requests for divorce, and so I started to work there for about not even 2 years. But then I realized I have to do this on my own. I'm making a lot of money to make somebody else's dream come true. So I said, you know what, I'm going to start for myself. So I started data mediation in 2010, and then I still had this need for all the other sides of me that I also wanted to bring into daylight. So somebody told me that I was a great and excellent networker. I hate that word because even when I was working for Deloitte, for example, they actually just sent me out just to do the networking part, and I hated it because I thought, you have to sell yourself and do those things. And then I met somebody who said to me, "No, you are a network, and networking is not about selling yourself, but the social skills that you have that make people feel comfortable when they are around you, and that they feel comfortable enough to open up, and then make that connection. You're able to connect those people." And I said, "But still, I don't like the word networking." And then this friend of mine, who eventually became an investor in Smart Capital, he said, "Yeah, you have to. You're a connector. You're a connector." And then somebody else said, "Yes, Sunita, you're just like the guy from the one of those types that are mentioned in the Tipping Point from Malcolm Gladwell, the social connector." The Tipping Point is a very famous book from Malcolm Gladwell, and one of those important people in business lives is the social connector. So I said, okay, you know what? Let's make it the social connector and create some kind of umbrella for all the other activities that I love to do, like writing, developing programs, projects, and actually connecting people, talents, and ideas to each other. So that's how it was created. And that is what the social connector stands for until now, because it's still evolving, it's still growing and expanding.
You have this calm thing around you. Do you have it always?
People say I do. Yeah,
Okay.
people say, everybody tells me that I have this um, soothing effect on people, that they calm. Maybe that's also why I'm a mediator. Because when people in divorce start arguing, believe me, you have to remain centered and calm. But I think it's also because I'm really live in a centered way, like I mean a spiritual wise. I'm very spiritual, so
Yeah.
um, I mean I'm living in a centered way. So I am aware of my presence, but I'm also aware of the fact that I just do what I have to do. And if you know that you only have to do in life what you have to do, there's no need to make a fuss about everything. And of course, believe me, I am human, and above all, I am a woman too. So you can ask my husband. I do have my moments, but yeah, that's actually when we women have our periods, then I can't help it. It's just a hormone thing. I also need to lash out. But even that I can actually just catch in a certain way, that I know, okay, that's when I have my period, and that's when I tell my husband, okay, just to be sure, don't push it, be nice to me. When I tell you something, when I ask you something, do it exactly the way that you do it, and you will not have a fight or an angry woman in the house.
That's what I told my husband also.
Yeah.
Just don't bother me this 5 days. and just do
Yeah.
what I say, and
And
everything will go okay.
if they, it's all about communication. So,
Yeah.
but I have to say, I have become this calm. I wasn't, when we would have had this interview 20 years ago, I was not. There was a lot of fire in me, but I'm turning 44 this year, and it's also some kind of acceptance that things are the way they are, that people are the way they are, that I am the way I am, and that's just perfect. You don't need to get along. You don't need to be friends. You don't need. There's no need to do anything.
Mm.
There's just desire and your task just to live your life as easy as possible.
I was reading an interview that you did with someone else that you told them you are an old soul,
Yeah,
and that you were an old soul when you were 2 or 3 years old, and that you were telling grown-ups the truth about them, and they were like, "How do you know that?"
yeah. And well, you could say, yeah. People called me an old soul,
Hmm.
and I do believe that I'm an old soul. No, okay, in a very young body nowadays still, but yeah, I was called an old soul and also a rare child, and as well from my mom's side as from my father's side, they're Asian and they're very spiritual. And they're very connected by heaven and earth, and the cosmic being, but also from my mom's part, the elements of nature. And the problem was that when I was 2 to 3 years old, is that I would just tell people the way things were. In the beginning, that was like, hey, look at that kid, she knows a lot of stuff. But eventually, what happened was that there were some people who would say it happened because she said so.
Okay, yeah.
And that's when both my parents decided from both my family parts, did some rituals to me
Hmm.
to make sure that I'm somehow protected and that I was not able anymore to just read people just like this
Yeah.
and cause problems mostly for myself. But then it came back, so and I accepted it, and you can fight it, but it's the best way to accept it and implement that in your life.
So, and
That
it
was
just came back one day, or did you do something to let
no,
it come back?
no. Of course, it was always there, but I
Hmm.
thought it was just dreams or just premonitions or anything like that. And then I think it was in 2003 that my body just stopped.
Stop.
Just yeah, I got paralyzed on one side.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was at the end of 2003, and it was really scary because I was all by myself at home, and thank God I was near a couch because so I could just let myself fall into the couch, and then they had some research and they couldn't find anything, but then afterwards I started to see colors around people, and I thought I was dying because oh my God, this is the end. And then I was told by an Asian woman. She said, "No, Sunita, you're not dying. You're waking up." And I said, "I'm waking up, yeah." Then I got explained what happened to me as a child and why they did that, and that I gradually started to wake up in that sense,
Hmm.
and yeah, see the things that I see, and that's it. Yeah.
Do you find it scary?
No, no, I'm even not afraid of dying. No, no, because um, I've had the experience of being disconnected and feeling connected at the same time with everything. So that's why I believe that when you die, it's just like my dad said, it's just a physical thing, a physical outfit that you leave, and that your spirit moves on. And ever since I had that experience, I am not afraid of dying. But there are some moments that I think, oh, God, how long is this going to take? Because things are not going as fast as I would love to. When things are not really going smoothly. So that's when I think, okay, yeah. But that's how I live, and that's how I perceive life, and how I have experienced life until now. Yeah.
So I know that you do spiritual, how do you call them? Readings?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
do you still do them, or is it a part of what you do?
Yeah, I do. I still do that, and because I do believe that it is, if people are gifted in that way, it is because they have a purpose. Because you don't, when you have a talent, it's a shame that you let it die. And if you have a talent or a gift, if you do neglect it, life will always throw you back on that road. And if you don't listen, it will throw you back even harder. And in my case, it was the fact that I got partially paralyzed. So I do believe that I am available to people who would like to have spiritual readings, but when it starts to, does he love me? Is he coming back to me? No, I don't like those kind of things. I'm just so sorry. That's not my cup of tea. I'm not working on those kind of issues. No, it's really life related. Yes.
What kind of issues do you work on?
It's more about if it comes to relationships, for example, it's not about the fact if somebody loves you or doesn't love you. It's, for example, about if you're together to learn a lesson or to build something together, or if it's that you've experienced something in life, how horrible it may have been, that you start to learn. Not learning, that you allow yourself and open yourself to give yourself space to see the bigger picture of it all. Yeah.
The bigger picture about what happened?
Yeah. For example, I know somebody who got physically abused at a very young age, and she kept it with her for a long time. I think she was not even 40 when she finally spoke up about it. And then until that time, she was always about, "Did this happen to me? And why did this happen to me? And oh, he's such a bad father, and she is such a bad mother," and all those things. Of course, it's about the victimizing part. And but then you start to see, especially from my point of view, where I'm from an Asian part and believe in previous lives and settlements, in karma settlements and everything, that there is a reason why things happen, and that there is a reason why it is happening to you, to that specific person. So what she eventually realized in the process was that she was able to see that it was the only way for her to touch ground, to become grounded. And ever since she accepted that, she has a totally different perspective towards her father and her mother and herself, because in the end, it's not only, and that I believe that is really the main issue with all the people, every human being on this planet, how pious they may be when they are working in church or being a priest or a nun or whatever, is that it's not only about forgiving someone, it's mainly about forgiving yourself.
Yes.
And forgiving yourself is not about saying, okay, you know what, I forgive myself because I forgive that person. No, when something happens to you in life, you get hurt. When you get hurt, you create, not create, you start to react instead of respond, and those reactions are not as good as responses should be. There's a difference between reactions and responding. And when you start reacting with hate or with anger or with obnoxious words or anything like that, what's the difference about the person who hurt you in an even worse way? But you're actually hurting yourself and that other person or that situation too. So that main part about forgiving yourself, that is actually the essence where somehow I always get back to that point in most of my spiritual readings. That when people get stuck, it's because they have not given themselves space to look at themselves and accept the things the way they are, and that the fact that they haven't forgiven themselves. But in the end, it's some things need to happen in life, and sometimes it's really the hard way. But still, in the end, there is no one to blame, because initially, every human baby is born clean, without any negativity, without any prejudice, without any anger. The person who does something to another person has an history why he or she is doing that. And the moment that you start to realize that and to understand, if you give it space to understand that other person, things become so much easier and more fluid and in life, because hurt, if you get hurt and you allow hurt to stay in that place and not grow, and just like a garden that you don't weed enough, you start to forget about how beautiful the garden looked like. It's not supposed to overrule your life, or anything, your desires and dreams. But when you're able to put things in perspective, it's all about connecting the dots, and there's still a beautiful constellation in the sky.
But what is perspective to you? Because I know women that have been abused, used, everything happened to them in their life. So just don't get me started about what happened in my life. But how do you say that?
Let me explain. I've also worked a lot with women who were victims of sex trafficking to the Netherlands, and most of them they had a high school education or anything, and they had dreams because they wanted a better future for themselves and in general for their whole family. So they wanted to live abroad, and they came here, and then they had to work as a prostitute day in, day out. You cannot believe what those women have to go through. But there's always, it doesn't matter in what way you are victimized. You can get traumatized, that's true, but somewhere deep down there is always this spot that nobody can touch. And as long as another person is able to communicate with that specific part, I call it that divine part, that nobody, that's your core, that's sacred. Nobody can touch that. Even when they kill you, they can't touch that. It's there. If you're able to communicate with that part, that person is able to listen, and when he or she is listening, that person is able to eventually put the whole situation in perspective. Doesn't mean that they will say, oh, you know what, I realize why things happen, so everything is cool. No, it makes their life more easy to live. Perspective, you can make your pain, your experience, someone else's key to freedom. Wow. And what's better in life to be able to free people who have gone or are still unfortunately going through the same, maybe right at this moment.
Yeah. That's one thing that inspires me most, and beautiful said. Yeah. And you were talking about the purpose. And I
Yeah,
know a lot of people are looking for their purpose and can't find it and are getting stuck. So, what do you say
yeah.
about that?
Well, one of my programs actually, well, a lot of my programs for entrepreneurs and individuals is about getting reconnected with that purpose and reactivating it. I call it your inner compass because, especially nowadays, in an economic crisis like this, where people are only working their asses off, pardon my French, but they
It's
do,
okay.
to maintain their job so their mortgage get paid and that they have a paycheck every month to provide for their families, has made a lot of people unhappy. And then somehow more and more people get courageous enough to quit their jobs and do what they feel happy about.
Hmm.
The moment that you do that, I believe that's your purpose. The moment that you start doing what your soul would love to express,
Hmm.
you're you're working on your purpose. And I don't think that you could really define a life purpose. And Mother Teresa's purpose was to be a saint, but I don't think she ever had. Okay, my life purpose is to be a saint.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, but if it would be like contributing in a way for a better world or for a better environment or anything, I think it's everybody's life purpose to make this world a better place.
Hmm.
But to really find that purpose is to take a moment and stand still and look back and say, okay, what the hell have you been doing until now? And see, okay, how many years, if I'm lucky, do I have left and what am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
I think that's the only way to figure out what one's life purpose is about. But
And really listen
unfortunately,
to yourself. Really listen to the inner voice that tells you, like, this is it.
yeah, yeah. It was yesterday evening that I said to an old friend of mine, you know what? I don't know why, but ever since I was a kid, I said when I'm 45, I want to start. I won't. I'll quit working, and I want to go to Brazil when I'm 45. And then he said to me, "But Sunita, you already quit working." I said, "Oh yes, actually, it's 5 years I don't work.
You,
I just do what I love to do, and I make money with it.
mm-hmm.
But it's not working.
No.
It's not working, and that's I think that's also part of the life purpose that you're aware of the fact that you're doing something you're also paid for, but that you're not doing it because of the money, but because it is your unique contribution. And there is this letter from the founder of modern dance, Martha Graham, and you should look it up. It's a letter she wrote to one of her students who had to perform somewhere, and it's about this. Uh, Keep your channel open. You want me to read it to you?
It's okay.
Let me see if I can find it. It's I read it to most people when they start to. It doesn't matter whether they come as a couple who want to divorce or a couple who want to stay together or people who just want to or figure out what to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I have to start the internet right now. But it's something that most people have come to have printed on their walls now. It says, "Oh, Sneak, it's so beautiful."
I also say to people that your life purpose is what you say it is. So if you decide this is my life purpose, then it's okay. It doesn't have to be, how do you say it? it doesn't have to be big, or it doesn't have to be approved by someone else. If you say that this is your life purpose, that's your life purpose.
Now, I do believe that it has nothing to do with the expectations of others,
Mm-hmm.
but I am somewhat reluctant when it comes to, okay, when you say that this is your life purpose, that's your life purpose, because around in history, and still in this moment, a lot of people say this is my life purpose, and believe me, they are not living their life purpose.
But you don't know that. You just start. If you say this is my life purpose and it's changed in a few years, then it's okay.
Okay, then you're working towards your life purpose.
Yeah, but
Because
you
I
have
believe
something.
purpose is a destination. I
Because
believe purpose is what is manifested and completed at the moment that you die. So you and I can say, and we can talk about the direction, the course of our life purpose, but what the actual life purpose is of our lives will only be left to the people who will talk at our funerals and say, okay, this is what she did in life.
Yeah.
This was her life purpose. And until that moment, I can only, that's why I said it's an inner compass that we have to follow. But if you follow a compass and you follow the direction to the North Pole, it doesn't mean per se that the North Pole is your destination. Maybe it's 100 miles further. Maybe you just have to go all the way around the Earth to get to the South Pole. We don't know. But, life purpose is destination. Like I said, we can only talk about the direction of our life purpose. The moment that we die, we know that the moment that we die, that's when we realize our life purpose has finalized. But only the people who live will tell us what that is all about.
I say that because I'm very practical and I want people to get unstuck and get started.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you like to do? What's your life purpose? And decide now. It's not that it doesn't change in the future. It's not that you not walking towards something else or toward something what's truly your life purpose. What you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I want people to decide and think, okay, I want to do this. I think this is my life purpose. Let me start doing this. Because when you're in action, then you can see from, this isn't what I want, or this is what I want, or I want to go that direction. But if you keep sitting here and keep saying, I don't know what it is, I'm stuck, I still don't know what it is.
But I think it's also about conscious language. I think it's also about conscious language. If you start using words like not and negative stuff, you're refraining yourself. But I think the closest definition for me to defining a life purpose is your unique contribution to the world, to life. To the world. That's it. And what that is, let it unfold itself. I have found the poem, well, actually the letter from Martha Graham.
Okay.
Will I read it to you?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Okay, read it. There is a vitality, a life force, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and be lost. The world will not have it. It is not your business to determine how good it is, nor how valuable it is, nor how it compares with other expressions. It is your business to keep it yours, clearly and directly, to keep the channel open. You do not even have to believe in yourself or your work. You have to keep open and aware directly to the urges that motivate you. Keep the channel open. There is no artist pleased. There is no satisfaction whatever at any time. There is only a clear, divine dissatisfaction, a blessed unrest that keeps us marching and makes us more alive than the others.
I think I need to sit with it. Just read it once more and sit with it.
Yeah, you need, like I say, let it marinate you.
Yeah. It's a great one.
Like a good piece of chicken. Yeah, take a bite. Yeah.
Great. Sunita, to ask you, what is the best advice that you ever gotten?
What is the best?
Best advice that you ever gotten?
The best advice that I ever got. And this is my father's advice. He passed away, unfortunately, some years ago. And initially he had 3 girls.
Mm-hmm.
Then my mom got pregnant. Another girl came. And then eventually 3 boys came. But he was really about each child with him to not to just show the best version of yourself, to show your greatness every day. Because your greatness is God's gift. That's why you are alive. And I remember one time when I came home with my school report, and I changed the 5 into 6. I think I was, oh my God, you can see it clearly. Oh my God, at that time you would just type it. I was like, oh no, Father will see that. And then, of course, I had to show him, because in our school, previous reports were also shown eventually. So we didn't, even if I wanted to change it then, when I would get a second report, the first one was visible again. So I gave it to him, and then I said, yeah, but everybody in my class has a bad grade for mathematics, and I know. He said, I don't care about the others. I care about you. And I was somebody who could easily study, but according to my father, I was actually just playing too much and not really giving it my best shot. And he said to me, if somebody ever tells you the sky is the limit, tell them you're cosmic. Try to find a limit there. And that's the best advice I got from my father. So if anybody would tell something like that same line, I said, okay, you talk to my father, because those were his words.
Wow.
Those were his words, yeah. That's the best advice I got. So maybe that's also why I'm so easygoing. And though people who work with me know I can be very difficult to work with, because I demand a lot of the people I work with. Mm-hmm. Like I said, the best version is not just to give it your best shot. No, show your greatness every day. It's not about being arrogant. It's not about being arrogant. It's about self-respect. And I think that's what my father taught us, day in, day out. Until we left the house, we thought, okay, now we're done. And then still he would give a call and remind us of it. Yeah, how important life is.
Yeah.
The time that somebody gets in life is such a gift. Mm-hmm. And most people, they don't realize how beautiful that gift is. We just live our lives. Most people just live their lives, and then, something out there wants to be born and experience life on this planet. That's how I see it, It's a gift that we're alive. Despite the things people have gone through. It's just beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
I want to finish up with a quote.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a quote that you live by or believe in?
Well, actually, the sky, like I said, the sky
it's
is not the limit for me. Is there a quote that well, there are many quotes. I think it's true what I already wrote, and what people can find on the social connector, and that's about the fact that each one of us is already a success from the moment they were conceived.
Wow.
We are a conception of success. And if we realize that, and if we are willing and able to invest in that, in our own personal, unique conception of success and allow it to unfold and evolve and mature, you can have a great life. You can have a successful life purpose.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I wanted to thank you for this interview. Wow.
You're welcome.
How can we get in touch with you? What are your website, your social media?
Well, there are two websites right now, thesocialconnector.com and terramediation.com. Please, Terra Mediation, not Terra Meditation. That's another one. Terramediation.com and thesocialconnector.com. And on those websites, you can find all the details about other ways to contact me through social media or find information about me and the things that I do in life. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I loved it. It was, like I said, I don't really like interviews.
Oh.
No, I don't. No, I don't. But what I really liked about this one is that it just evolved itself throughout time.
Yeah.
So, loved having this interview with you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
My first in English. Yay! Yay!
You go international, baby.
Yeah!